present to you the best Quad City sports talk radio show in the world. With the face who runs the place, T-Roy, the OG on the marquee, Jaybird, and the cat who runs the chat with the stats, Statman Surge. We are Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. We're not a Quad City sports talk radio show. We're not the Quad City sports talk radio show. We are your Quad City sports talk radio show. Welcome to the conversation, Quad Cities. But first, the Dawn.
Well, congratulations out there to all you Iowans who have businesses that can open up come Friday. And hope it goes well for everyone. To those of you out there that are still on the waiting list, we're with you. And Jay and I will be fighting the good fight today here on Don't Hassle Us Local, AM 1170. Brought to you by our friends at Dunright Satellite and Dish. And just want everybody to know we're going to talk a lot about what she said today as it kind of comes through.
I guess we got to clear up some things.
Yeah.
You know? We do get to talk a little bit about the negotiations between the players and the owners at MLB and what that is. And it does, I talked to some people last night, and it does raise the question of what would you do if, and we'll talk a little bit more about it later, like if the players put their foot down and said, you signed a contract, we're not doing it, we're not going to play. And they basically had a strike. Like, would it hurt you bad for baseball? Would you be the point to be like, because what someone was saying last night was, I may never go to another game again if that were to happen.
Well, I was already at the point where I was pissed off enough that the Cubs didn't do a damn thing in the offseason, to let alone that I didn't even care about baseball this year. Because, really, I don't expect anything out of them. So if the team that you root for, you expect nothing from, and now they're going to give you nothing, period. Yeah, whatever, man. Baseball's slowly dwindling in my life.
If you're wondering what we're talking about, basically, Major League Baseball owners went to, and Manfred came up with an idea that to hand to the Major League Baseball Players Association of what they're going to do about coming back once to go back to baseball. And basically, some of the things addressed are spring training 2.0 would be in June. Season starts in July. 82-game schedule. You would play in your division and your rival division. So NL East, AL East only, NL West, AL West only, NL Central, AL Central only. And the other thing was that the owner said that we need to go and we need to do a 50-50 split of revenue. And baseball players are saying, no, we've signed a deal in March, and that said that we would take a prorated salary based on how many games are played. The owners are saying that because they're saying there's going to be huge financial losses, in their plan, they want to pay players a percentage of their 2020 salaries based on a 50-50 split between players and owners of MLB's revenue from the regular season and postseason. The union views that concept as a salary cap, which their union has said it will never agree to. What the reason why is the union is going to say that is another thing we're going to be discussing, and we have before. The word that's starting to get out, the term new normal, is something that I said I believe in the real world, and real world is a lot different than the sports world, okay? But I think the sports world has started saying, like, the new normal is going to be this. The new normal is going to be you won't stand in line in concession stands. The new normal will be this, new normal will be that. And there's a lot of new normals out there, and it's just like throwing darts at a board and hoping one of them hits bullseye. Mm-hmm. But that is the union that's going to say that will be the new normal, because if they'd agree to it this year, the owners can turn around and say, we did it before, it worked out. I can see both sides. That's the thing. I can argue both sides. I really would like to see the contract that they signed in March that at the very beginning has what the owners are saying is the poison pill that said that if there are no fans in the stands, this contract is null and void. What you're arguing here is interpretation over what is literal, right? Or the union is saying that you weren't explicit into this. We were explicit into we'll have prorated salary. You weren't explicit into this little thing that you call the poison pill. And basically you just threw it in there and we agreed to it. We didn't read it.
That's your fault that you didn't read it.
I agree.
If you did not read it, and if your lawyers were that negligent not to read that thing is saying that this is null and void if there's no fans in the stands, that's huge. And that's no insignificant thing. That's on you, players. And if you're that damn dumb, which apparently you were, then guess what? Bend over, because you're getting it.
Well, none of that came up on Tuesday during the negotiations between the sides. This could take up to 2 weeks, is what ESPN reported this morning. The other thing that's weird is NBA came out on Monday and Tuesday and was like, "Hey," and the players, I guess they were on a Zoom call, and Chris Paul was on it, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, and they all wanted. There was 9 or 10 of them. They all agreed to yeah, we want to come back and play. Well, that's a good thing and everything, but Manfred said we're not going to come up with anything probably for a month, an idea. So that can also, we never know. Things can go up. Some states are trending in different directions. Excuse me. What I'm saying is this, that Iowa is actually decreasing. We're on the gauge of it. So we're doing the right thing, I guess. We're doing it. I don't know. The governor doesn't want to open up too much, and I understand that.
I don't know how you can define between what's dangerous and what's not when it comes to business.
But the people I talked to last night were just like, we went back to the strike year. And they're like, it soured me, and it took all the way till the summer of 98 to bring baseball back. And
right.
And the thing about that is it really should have been brought back almost the next year when Cal Ripken broke the record for the streak. So I still give him a lot of credit for that, though. I don't do the it was the summer 98. But hey, here's what it is. Hectic morning. I forgot my computer. But
a lot of stuff happening that summer of 98, Jay.
Yeah.
You know, the Bulls are falling apart. Mm-hmm. Baseball was coming back. A lot of stuff going on.
Wow. I decided that I want to start off the opening segment with a couple stories. All right. We'll do it. We'll start off with just a parent corner into a coaching corner. All right?
This is great.
We have the e-learning thing. And I would say our house is, if there is strict homeschooling teachers, we are pretty much the opposite. Get it done. I'll check it. We'll turn it in. You don't want to do it today. You're going to have to double up tomorrow. You're going to have to do this and that. Okay?
Yep.
And Ben is the 8-year-old, and Beef is smart as a whip, and he wants to just tear through things so he doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't want to work. He does not want his father to check his work. Because I'm going to say, man, come on. You got to capitalize this. You got to use grammar here. So, yesterday, he's like, I did the work. I'm like, all right, no big deal. But then today, I want to give him a little bit, hey, do these lessons. But I have to check. Because, like I said, he likes to speed through things. So, I'm getting angry, and then at what I'm reading of what he submitted. And then I start laughing because I'm like, this is actually really good.
So he's being you.
Do you remember Cliff Clavin on Cheers?
Yeah.
Going on Jeopardy?
I do vaguely remember the episode.
The answer is, who are 3 people that have never been in my kitchen? The final Jeopardy answer, that's what he gave. Technically, it's correct. They gave a name, 3 people, and that was the final question. The final answer. And his was, who are 3 people who have never been in my kitchen? Technically, it's correct. Okay? My son has reading to do. He's supposed to read through this whole thing and then answer from the text. You're answering from the text, right? Here's what my son wrote. Here's the question. Number 1. Why is the Earth called the blue planet? All right. You would say because it's made from the text made up of percentage of water.
Yeah, because of the ocean, how the ocean reflects from the sun.
His answer is because there is a bunch of blue on the Earth. And he spelled bunch wrong, so that made me angry. That's where I started getting angry. I'm like, what? I was like, that's just lazy. But he gets a little better. Where are at least 3 places you can find water on Earth?
River, lake,
Ocean.
Okay. The tap room, the bathroom, the shower, and the tub.
Your sink, the Mississippi River, and a creek. That's what he writes. Okay. Okay, it gets better.
Yes.
What happens when the sun warms the water on the earth? The water gets warmer. If you would have thrown like the temperature, the water temperature goes up, that would have been good too.
What happens when the sun warms the water?
Yeah.
The hippies cry.
Yeah.
If he just said that.
Yeah. That'd be good.
Oh man.
And then this was pretty good though. I mean, I actually didn't double check this too much. I would something to do more with the evaporation and condensation. But how are clouds made? Water droplets come together to make a big cloud. But your sink, the Mississippi River, and I think it made me angry that he spelled Mississippi correct. So then I'm like, where did you find this? You can't spell a bunch. He instead of a bunch, he didn't. Space in between it came out ABOUCH of blue on the earth. Oh my goodness! I'm like, so then I'm like, hey,
what was his third place for water?
A creek, because we have a runoff in the back that we just call a creek.
Yeah,
that runs into actual Duck Creek, but
yeah, your creek is there's a name for your creek.
I think it's Stafford Creek. Yeah,
Stafford Creek.
So. And I'm like, all right. So then I have to leave him notes.
Not related to Matt Stafford, who went to high school with
Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah,
good buddies. I had to go back and leave him like lesson plans and like, hey, I need you to go to this lesson and correct it. And I even write, although your answers are correct, please take them from the text. And then I called his mother later and I'm like, I need you to have him show you this slide. And I want you to know that I do believe he's very, very smart, but he needs to do it the right way. I just. And I say, call me back, because if it's not the funniest thing, the water gets warmer. Yeah, it does. It sure does, Ben. We get that. So anyway, and then I was also jogging today. This is just my coach's corner. I was jogging today and listening to Bill Simmons has Tony Kornheiser on.
Cornholer.
Yeah, and he was talking about covering the games when he was younger, when he was coming up, and how his favorite thing probably was to be a beat writer for whatever MLB team. But he said he really enjoyed talking to the managers. Managers would always be there early and they'd stay later, but managers would talk for about 2 hours because they would actually be talking about the night before, but they're setting up for why they did the lineup the day of. And he said if you follow a manager for 2 weeks, it's like getting a master's course in baseball, because he believes baseball is the most learnable game, meaning there's not a huge fast pace. You can slowly break it down. Why did this happen this way? Why did that play go that way? And you can ask a manager why he does it. And I was like, that's probably pretty true. I mean, basketball goes fast, and football, there's X's and O's to it in certain plays. And I was just thinking about it, and then it got me thinking about like, oh, maybe that's why there's all kinds of parents that always second guess. But I was like, wait, that's in every travel sport, so that's not a big deal. And then, I want you to know, I preface this with this. I was going on my personal page, Facebook, but I put on Don't Hassle, so we're local. I'm blessed with the 10U team that I coach on my daughters, that every single parent is fantastic. And that is no lie. I don't say that thinking that maybe they're listening or not. They probably aren't, but they're really, really good. And they get on board with the coaching philosophy. But as a joke, and I actually thought, I was like, you know what, I'm kind of funny. And then so I wrote that, where is it at here? Hold on. That willing to bet during this pandemic, there is at least one travel ball parent that has texted to another travel ball parent, I could organize and run a team Zoom meeting better than Coach Good. And I just feel like that's so true. Like, and then a friend of the show, well, Sarge, you know him, right?
Yeah.
He said, I'd be willing to bet that there's more than one than that. Fick wrote, he's basically quoting like what a teen parent would say. Zoom has become a big part of my daily basis for work. I've really gotten the hang of it. Think I should say something and tell them I'd be willing to take over? So it just, it just got me thinking about everything. And I know the governor came out and high school sports is still to be determined, and Little League is not open yet. Tournaments are canceled, but we're getting ready. We're getting them ready mentally with, not so much Zoom meetings, but activities that we're still planning on, hopefully state in a month in Des Moines.
Yeah.
And then my personal corner.
Uh-oh, Jay. Now I'm nervous.
Usually, and I say I was, I think I overreacted now that I think about it. Usually, I can take things and be like, what'd you just say? And laugh about it. But things get us a little crazy here during this global pandemic. And we met with another family because the guys I coach with, we were just going to talk about the thing. And we had the team pictures that come out, and the wives are looking at them. And then Tiffany said something about, look, Dan looks like this. And then she said, Jay and Bill look like they put on 15 pounds. And usually I'd be like, what did you just say? And laugh it off. But I was like,
how dare her.
I know. And I just ate my feelings. I didn't say anything.
Oh,
and then
man.
like this morning before workout, she's like, hey, is everything all right? And I was like, well,
You got to go work out 15 pounds.
You said that last night.
Yeah.
And she was just like, what? No, I meant it like you looked really good in that picture and you're cut. And I'm like, this isn't helping. And then and she's like, no, I wouldn't say that. And I was like, I know you wouldn't say it. I feel like I'm being overly sensitive to it. But I was like, 15 pounds?
She was just digging.
Can you imagine if I would say that?
Oh, you'd be shot in the face.
I think I would.
You'd get shot right in the face.
I can't believe you said that, though.
Oh, that's a healthy 15, honey.
Yeah. I haven't put on 15 pounds, though.
I was just saying in your thighs. No, not in your waist, in your thighs.
That, though. No. But
honey, I dropped 15 pounds. Yeah, from your belly to your ass.
So, I think I got. All right. So, like I said, second hour, we're gonna talk to Matt Randazzo. He's been working. Yeah, it's at 1:00. He's been
way.
Yeah, he's been working on a project. Yeah, at 1:00 we'll talk to him. He's been working on a project that he's excited to share with us. And then at 1:30 we're gonna talk to Dave Morgan from Single Speed about from a week from now when we're gonna have happy hour with Dan Gable, and we'll explain to you guys how you can join in on a happy hour with Coach Gable.
We're going to Waterloo next week. Yeah, I forgot to tell everybody.
So, all right,
coming to Waterloo, peeps.
So we're going to take a quick break, and we come back. We're gonna break some.
Let's talk about Front Street Brewery while we're at it, Bird.
Yeah.
They are the oldest brew pub in Iowa, nestled right along the bank of that mighty Mississippi, serving Davenport since 1992. Right now, it looks like hopefully they're going to be open on Friday.
Yeah.
We'll see what they announce. All you got to do is check out the Facebook page to let you know what's going on, or check out the webpage, www.frontstreetbrew.com. And I don't know if that includes the tap room or not, but either way, I know you can still get your growlers filled there, so check them out.
Market, it's got to be open because, either way, you can get it to go, but the farmer's market's open. So you can buy a growler to go or a beer to go and then go sit in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good for them. Yeah, they're so fine.
Either way, they're rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
Get down and check it out. Glad they're through it. Those are our friends from Front Street Brewery.
This is UFC Hall of Famer Pat Miletich. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us. We're local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
We will get our momentum back. Our business is back. Our smiles back. Ourselves back. Because that's what this community does. At First Midwest Bank, we want to thank our colleagues for doing everything they can to help our clients and our communities get through this. Because we are all in this together. And together, we will get our momentum back. First Midwest Bank. Visit firstmidwest.com. Member FDIC.
The Will Kane Show.
Joe Judge became head coach of the New York Giants. As I walked up today in the hallways, Mike A gave me that good to see you smile, but it's more like a wince because Nuno was nearby. We weren't really worried about anger so much as hurt feelings.
it was an apologetic look, like you'd see when you know somebody's had a rough day, like, how you holding up, big guy? How you doing, champ?
Wait a minute. We're all about honesty here. No one's like that. We want to see each other miserable. Like, that's what everyone was hoping for, is that I would be miserable, because it would have just been great for this show, right? Like, I would have to produce this show, and on a Monday after Jason Garrett's just sitting here clapping away, and then I can't even speak.
And just out of curiosity, not for any personal interest of mine or Mike A's or Bubba's, how miserable are you?
The Will Kane Show, 2 till 5 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
So you're what they call an industrial athlete, but this ain't no gym. You're working hard, but you got the right tools to get the job done? Would you play football and roller skates? I don't think so. So if your gear is beat up, tore up, all around mucked up, come on in and boot up at Quad City Safety, 5311 Tremont Avenue, Davenport. Or check us out at quadcitysafety.com.
The Will Kane Show.
Pippen may have been one of the best players in NBA history, but he played under one of the worst contracts in sports memory. Scottie Pippen was Michael Jordan's wingman. He was his Robin. Pippen is underappreciated. Michael Jordan said, every time my name comes up, Scottie Pippen's should come up. Pippen signed an extension with the Chicago Bulls. He signed a 7-year deal that essentially paid him a little over $2 million a year. 7-year, $18 million deal. And it became one of the worst contracts in the NBA. Pippen was the 122nd highest paid player in the league, the 6th highest paid player on the Bulls, and it ate at Scottie. It bothered him.
The Will Kane Show, 2 till 5 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Escúchame, it is Dan Le Batard on ESPN Radio.
It is funny to have a coach say, no, I didn't mean to call them thugs. I meant to call them slugs. And I just want to officially parse the dumbest possible way we could ever discuss race in sports. Did the old guy mean slugs or thugs? If he meant thugs, racist. If he meant slugs, just good coaching. Maybe he's just old and made a verbal mistake because they fly around a lot and he's old. It is a great defense, though. It really is, because I believe him. I believe that he meant to say slugs.
I mean, it's really the only defense you can go to, right?
Racist!
I'm old. I meant to say slugs.
No, slugs! I'm just old and doddering. I'm not racist. Just old.
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM. Know the lines, hear from the experts, and get your bets ready. Don't hassle us. We're Local is your source for all things sports gambling. Noon to 2 on ESPN 1170 AM.
Hey, we're back. You're in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by Dunright Satellite and Dish, and you know what we is. Don't hassle us, local.
So, what we open the show with in the governor of Iowa, and don't get me wrong, what Iowa has is better than what Illinois has, and we have to remember our friends over there on the other side.
Right.
And they're not opening up at all.
Ugh.
All right, so but you have someone like us, it's still a tough pill to swallow. So my thoughts are out to the businesses on the Illinois side of the Quad Cities. But and they're saying on here the same thing. Like, so let me get this straight. Bars can stay open. So your kitchen has to stay open till 2 if you want to stay open till 2, right?
I don't know. I don't know yet for sure.
All right. I understand that, but like when we talk about the press conference, and I didn't see it, you did. And someone like specifically asked her, what about places that don't have a kitchen? She's like, no, you have to have a kitchen to be open. No, but no one reaches out and says, like, does the kitchen have to be open till 2? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So someone's got the foresight to ask that to specifically point out a different type of establishment, but no one says, like, so does the kitchen have to be open?
Well, I'm sure we'll find out quick.
And then what? I can't afford to pay a cook till 2:00. And then they make lax rules. Well, it has to be open during these times. I mean, this is where the things get frustrating, because then somebody steps in and says, well, we just can't afford it, obviously, or I can't hire anyone, and then they just go on and they change the rules. And T-Roy,
yeah,
since they have changed to go and curbside for the liquor license, is the law still 2, or has that changed so we can boost the economy? Can places go year all around? It would boost the economy.
There you go.
People would be able to stay out later, spend some money.
24/7 sales.
Isn't that what we did?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I know I did. I know they did. They said, like, hey, we're going to change these rules. Well, you guys can deliver the booze, and you can do curbside, and you can have open containers. Well, not necessarily open containers, but you know what I'm saying.
I guess we'll find out.
The thing is that I guess we'll find out is not. It's like too little, too late to be like, oh yeah, you guys can. I mean,
it's almost exhausting.
That's beyond exhausting.
It's really what it is, and like you said, keep it in perspective. Thank God we don't live in Illinois.
Yeah.
Or have a business in Illinois, but yeah, you do feel about for our friends across the pond or the Mississippi, if Ben will.
Yeah,
the crick.
Andy from the Natty said, what are your COVID numbers now? And I do not have those in front of me. I guess you can go to the Center for System Science and Engineering at Johns Hopkins if you want those numbers. And I can wait and do it at the break. But Iowa is somewhere between decreasing anywhere between -10 and 50% within the last week. So is Illinois. So they're going in the right direction.
What about Georgia?
What about Georgia?
Yeah, you got that on your little list?
Yeah, Georgia's going the same direction we are. They're decreasing.
Oh, but they lifted all entire bans. They were going to jump, Jay.
Huh? They weren't.
Everybody was worried about them jumping.
No.
You're going to bring it back.
Arizona lifted everything. All sporting places can be open. They just can't have fans.
Okay.
Yeah, Iowa is decreased. Georgia's decreasing at the same rate. Illinois is. Minnesota's actually gone up. Wisconsin remains the same within the past week. New York has gone down, the state of. And Montana's got less than 10 cases a day, so does Vermont. Alaska has less than 10 cases a day. Hawaii has less than 10 cases a day. But Arizona is actually increased cases from 10 to 50%, and the governor still lifted and said sports can happen, but they can't. Obviously, they can't have fans there. What does this all mean? I mean, well, the NFL is looking into things to do with fans in the stands, and they're trying to look at how much money they're going to lose. It's an estimated, based on estimates provided by team sources, and this is from CBSSports.com, games without fans could cost NFL teams an average of around $70 million in gate receipts this season.
Oof.
10 home games, including preseason, that's about $7 million per game. The bulk of team revenue comes from TV deals, but some teams are dealing with relatively small profit margins already, and the loss of tens of millions of dollars could have a major impact on how they do business. They're scrambling to preserve the money and commitments they already have while also looking to replace what they're going to lose. So they're trying to figure out with season ticket deals.
Yeah.
Don't cancel the season tickets, and you can, I don't know, boost up next year or get it at a discounted price next year, right? Don't you think, wouldn't they do that?
Something like that, or offer deals on concessions the following year.
The NFL,
things like that.
They're going to need the NFL to work with them. The NFL is going to have to, well, not have to, but they should relax typical advertising rules in order to help them bring in more money via sponsorships. Meaning, like, you could start seeing teams advertising virtually on the walls surrounding the fields, tarps across empty seats, and, and the goalpost netting.
Yeah, there you go.
Instead of, like, putting fake virtual fans in there, you'll just see a big tarp across, and there'll be Allstate there or something, And then they're trying to figure out ways of what they're going to do, because like if something, the Dolphins are working on a plan that's going to allow 15,000 fans into their 65,000 seat stadium. But obviously there's tons of challenges and everything else. I guess the main thing that everybody's worried about is doing these things, sports, is taking these tests away from the general public. There's only so many tests, right? I know you say I don't know, but I mean...
I don't know. I mean, you never... They're too busy arguing semantics rather than getting us facts on things that we need. We're talking about peaks, Jay. Peaks.
When
your peak is less than 1%, your peak doesn't,
I'm telling you, the average person is starting to lean further and further away from government restrictions.
Yes.
Every day. The person who was like, yeah, you got to do this, you do that. They bought in, and that's fine. I mean, we all did.
Yeah.
But now the average person that I talk to, more and more, they're leaning further and further away. There is, like I said, Pat Militich's thing on Saturday. That was nice, but don't point a finger at that when 2 baseball fields away, and then there are 2 diamonds also, there's Little League teams practicing. You can't say, look at those people, oh, look at Pat and all those crazy people, and they're right-wingers, and they do this and that. And then you got a Little League team practicing.
No, do what you want.
Yeah.
Lift it, Kim. Free us. Free me now. Do you think she has a problem with bars because she's got a problem with DUIs?
Oh, T-Roy, come on.
Is that fair for me to say? It's public record that she has 2 DUIs.
No, I hope that's not it.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, all of a sudden she's a recovering alcoholic, so we have to be, which I find you are as a quitter, but it's whatever. I know, I'm joking. It's serious, but
yeah.
Are her own personal beliefs going into this decision? I don't know. It's troublesome. And by the way, don't come at me saying that I'm being insensitive to alcoholism. I'm joking.
No,
I understand.
No. It's a joke.
Serious thing, and I don't mean it by any shape or form. And if
don't apologize. You're being too nice now. You're worrying about offending people. Don't do that.
I'm not really.
Yeah, you're doing just fine.
But
My opinion of this is probably that a bar is smaller than a restaurant, and that they can't, by the square footage wise, they can't do social distancing the way they do it. That's the only answer that I can come up with. How's that?
You certainly can't at Harrington's. I mean, I give it to you. There's no way you can.
Have you ever been in a kitchen at Applebee's?
Uh-huh.
Impossible to be 6 feet apart on that line.
Right, that's what I'm getting at.
You can put as many tables away from everything else.
Listen, I don't care if Barb's cutting your hair or not. You're getting tight.
Our salon's open.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Where I get my hair cut is a fourth of the size of Pints.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I want all these places to be open. I'm not trying to say. I'm just the hypocrisy is where I'm like shaking my head.
It's not. I don't know if it's a hypocrisy. It's just a matter of just like, hey, I'm picking and choosing. This is what I'm saying. Like, this is
that's being a hypocrite.
No, it's that you can't put laws on others that. I've been saying this over and over. You can't put laws on some that don't. You can't put laws that don't apply to everyone.
Right.
It just doesn't work.
Right.
This is a suggestion.
Right.
Then why are we not opening?
Because they'll take our liquor license.
All right. Fair. That's fair.
We need that. It's kind of an important thing.
It's an important thing, isn't it? So they got us with the legal mumbo jumbo there on that one.
Yeah. Kind of grabbed us right by the old nards.
Yeah.
If you will.
Well, I'm
getting ready to call Tim Hernandez and see if ID Life can fix it.
The other thing we were talking about last night is what's going to happen with stations like Marquee. That, I mean, if you have MediaCom, that just got added to your bill. You didn't ask for it. It's just part of the sports package that they threw in there. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you're paying extra for live sports, for live Cub games. I mean, I think it's great if they played the replay of Ernie Banks hitting his 500th home run yesterday. I don't personally am not going to watch an old game like that. But eventually you're going to look at that bill as you start trimming down costs, and you're going to highlight that and go, what?
Mm-hmm.
And MediaCom's going to turn around, and then they're going to have to sue Marquee and say, like, hey, you promised us all this. We paid this much for it. You owe us this much money. And like we talked about, last week? 2 weeks ago, the New York Attorney General had already put some type of legislation in against DirecTV or Dish. I can't remember. Yeah, about not having, because they're costing 20% of the cable bill. It comes from stations that promise live sports. But NASCAR's back this week. I'm just saying, it's
so excited.
All these things at first, when it was like a joke, and we were like, hey, this is going to be fun. Horse is going to be fun. That was a fart noise.
Can we get horse racing back? If you can have NASCAR
There's a
back.
place is Florida doing it? They're doing it without fans.
What about in Fargo?
No.
Fargo?
They're doing it without fans. NASCAR is going to come back. I can't even tell you. Golf will definitely come back. They've got their testing that they're going to do. They just actually mentioned that, when was it? Earlier today, about how they were going to make that work. All the testing. Here, I'll tell you in a second. And where is it? Sorry. All right, the protocols that they're going to have the testing.
For golf?
Yeah, so that they have to be tested for the virus. They're going to do nasal swab testing for COVID-19. It will take 24 to 48 hours to get results, with players allowed to practice and play on site while waiting for the results. Timing could vary from tournament to tournament, and the tour said it hopes to at some point have test results within hours. Of course, we all want to have test results within hours. I know they're working on saliva tests. That would be as fast as a pregnancy test. Mm-hmm. They're working on it. Mm-hmm. So,
false positive. I want to be a pomegranate.
I can tell you what, though. All this negative energy I brought, you were much chipper before we came on air tonight. Now I think I just got your brain going more and more, and it's just it's.
I can't get out of it.
I think it's.
You know what I need? I need some iced tea.
We can make some iced tea.
I think I can go get it done while we're on break.
I can make it for you. It's not a big deal.
No.
Let's take a look at. Let's do some more NFL teams.
Yeah.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll look at the NFL schedule, make some predictions, what we're looking at, and then let's look up the over unders and on the ones that we've already done too as well. Yeah, and then we have a phone call at 1 o'clock.
I got two more that I want to do for sure.
Okay, definitely.
And I want to bring up my aforementioned friend Tim Hernandez. He wants us to focus on new ways to have fun and get fit for yourself and your family. ID Life wants you to be healthier, have more energy, get better sleep, and achieve more focus. ID Life is a health and wellness company revolutionizing the industry with customized nutrition. The name stands for Individually Designed Life and was founded on the principle that no people are alike. So everyone has unique nutritional needs, and Tim is your guy in the Quad Cities to help personalize that guidance and help tailor you to your specific needs and health factors and goals. If you have problems of health that are holding you back, the doctors and scientists will help develop the nutrients that you should be taking and what supplements will benefit you most. Just go to qchealth.idlife.com and sign up for an unconditional, no questions asked, 30-day money-back guarantee. Call Tim Hernandez today, 563-508-7221, and he can show you what makes ID Life different is you.
You like that? You like that? Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah.
This is Bobby Metcalf from the Quad City Times, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
Renewal by and
Anderson.
In these challenging times, the security and safety of your home is more important than ever, and Renewal by Anderson is open and here to help you. Whether your windows and doors need to be replaced due to age, or your window and door needs are related to safety, security, or damage, we are here for you. We're offering virtual appointments, safe distance consultations, and more. Renewal by Anderson is practicing CDC guidelines to keep your family safe. Plus, we're offering flexible financing options catered to your needs during these uncertain times. No money down, no payments, no interest for 24 months. That's 2 full years. Right now, buy 2 windows or doors and get one 60% off. Text Zoom to 96714 for more information. That's Zoom to 96714, and remember, we're here to help.
Renewal by Anderson. We love our new windows.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Stugotz, did you read any of the Ramona Shelbourne reporting on how the documentary got made? Because there were some interesting and funny details in that story. Did you see it?
No, Dan, I tried to. Now, listen, this is making an excuse because I don't like to read, but I tried to go into this thing with as little information as possible, okay?
That's your life. That's your life motto in general.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you do everything. That's how you do the show.
Yeah.
Put it on the poll, Guillermo. Should it say on Stugotz's tombstone, I tried to go into this thing with as little information as possible?
I found that adorable that you tried to position that as some sort of new thing that you were trying out this time around.
Yeah, it's just it is the chromosome that you have that afflicts you with laziness. There is no vaccine for that.
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Car old? Need it sold? Get rid of that old car and do a good deed at the same time. It's the Arrowhead Ranch Annual Auto Auction coming soon to Coal Valley. That's right, it's back. Donate your car, truck, SUV, or motorcycle, and if you live within 40 miles of Coal Valley, they will even pick it up, even if it doesn't run. All donations are tax deductible. Call 309-799-7044 or visit them online at arrowheadyouth.org. Car old, needed sold, Arrowhead Ranch Annual Auto Auction. Stay tuned for an auction date in Coal Valley.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Did you see what they just did to Colin Cowherd?
No.
They played a video from a month ago of him saying flatly the Packers should draft a quarterback in the first round to sit behind Aaron Rodgers, that it's the right thing to do, it's the only thing to do. And then they played a video a month later of him saying the Packers are stupid if they draft a quarterback in the first round.
That's sports radio, Dano.
That's sports radio the way that you do it, Stugotz. When you see them back to back, the video of him talking, and it's a month apart, and in one he's saying it's the right thing to do, and in the next one he's saying it would be stupid if they do it. You're stealing money.
It's what makes my character so great because no one holds me to anything. I mean, I'm expected to do that. Thank you, Dan.
That's right. You are expected to do that. Thank me later in that big house by putting the dog in another room, please.
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
We will get our momentum back. Our business is back, our smiles back, ourselves back. Because that's what this community does. At First Midwest Bank, we want to thank our colleagues for doing everything they can to help our clients and our communities get through this. Because we are all in this together. And together, we will get our momentum back. First Midwest Bank. Visit firstmidwest.com. Member FDIC.
When you're listening to the best play-by-play, you know you're listening to the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Welcome back to Don't Hassle Us, we're local here on ESPN 1170 AM. I want to thank you all for tuning in and listening. I want to remind you that you can listen on the ESPN 1170 AM app. You go to ESPN1170am.com, click in the upper right-hand corner, listen now, or you can listen and watch live on our Don't Hassle Us, we're local Facebook page and leave comments on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread. I'm currently looking up NFL season team wins odds. Because yesterday we looked at the NFL schedule. As you remember, the teams released their schedules on Thursday night. We already knew what the schedule was, but now we know who away and who's at home. Who's at home? Close the door. who's at home and where. But now we need to kind of look at where we're at, where T-Roy kind of put some of the teams at, and where they're at for the over-under the bet.
I told you before the break I wanted to do 2 more teams.
Okay. Well, let's do 2 more teams then.
Because I think that... You got to turn my mic on.
Oh, yeah. Go on.
I think that we need to... I think the the AFC East is going to be a very hot topic this year because the Patriots have won it so many years in a row.
Okay.
So I want to see. Obviously, I don't think the Jets have a chance, but maybe we do the Jets as well. But I definitely want to do.
Okay, what did you have the Patriots at?
9-7. So I think we should do the Bills, the Dolphins, and the Jets quick.
Okay. Last year the Bills were 10-6. They added Stephon Diggs to another weapon for Josh Allen.
You can catch the ball.
Yep. All right. They open up at home against the Jets.
I'll give the Bills a win.
They go on the road to Miami.
Give them a loss.
Kind of big on Miami, aren't you?
Well, it's tough to win on the road. The Miami
divisional game on the road, back to back. Okay. Then they're at home against the Los Angeles Rams.
Give them a win.
Then they're at the Raiders.
I'll give them a win.
Then they're at Tennessee.
Give them a loss.
That's a loss, yeah. Host the Chiefs.
Have to give them a loss.
At the New York Jets. That is a Thursday night game against the Chiefs, too, by the way. They host, but it's okay.
I almost think I had the Chiefs losing that game.
I think you did, too.
So I'm going to go ahead and give them that win.
Mm-hmm. When we do this all, again, you got to hold on to this. When we do all this, well, we'll do it all in August, yeah, and I will know a lot more.
I'm going to give them the win. I'm going to give them the win against the Jets because I don't really like anything the Jets did.
Okay. Then they host the Patriots. Finally.
I think I give them that win.
Then they host the Seahawks.
Give them that win.
Then they travel to Arizona.
Take a loss.
Home against the Chargers.
I'll give them that win.
At San Francisco.
Loss.
That's going to be a Monday night game. Then they have the Sunday night game at home against the Steelers.
I'm going to give them a loss.
Then they host the Broncos.
Give them a win.
At the Patriots for Monday Night Football.
I think they lose that game.
Then they're home against the Dolphins.
And I'll give them that win.
What do you have, Matt?
10-6.
10-6. Just squeaking out a lead in the AFC East. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other team you wanted to look at?
The Dolphins.
The Dolphins. You're going to have it like 14-2.
No, I'm not. I already have them splitting with the Bills, so we already know that.
All right. They open up the season at New England. I think you had them winning that.
Yes.
Then they travel to the Bills. Come home to them. So you get
they win that.
2-0 in the division.
Yep.
Then they play the Thursday night game at Jacksonville.
I think they win that.
Then they host Seattle.
I'm going to give them. Oh boy. I'm going to give them a loss there.
That was hosting Seattle?
Yeah.
Okay, then they travel to San Francisco.
Give them a loss there.
Then they're at Denver.
I'll give them a win.
They host the LA Chargers.
They win that.
This is the best thing for me right now to do the schedule. Then they host the LA Rams. See what I did? I'm working on not saying San Diego.
I think they beat the Rams.
Chargers, yeah. And so they host the two LA teams. Yeah, okay.
I think they beat the Rams.
Then they're at Arizona Cardinals.
Ooh, interesting. I'll give them that victory.
They host the Jets.
They win at home against the Jets.
Then they have a bye week.
Okay.
Then they travel to the Jets.
Back-to-back weeks.
No, there's a bye.
Yeah, bye week.
But
I'll give the Jets that victory. I'll have them split with the Jets.
They host the Bengals.
I'm going to give them that victory. That's going to be the Tua.
Yeah, Burrow. People are going to love that.
I like the coaching in Miami. I'm sorry. It's just what I like the most.
They host the Chiefs.
I think they lose that.
They host the Patriots.
So you think they win that?
They sweep the Patriots this year?
Yes.
At Las Vegas Raiders. Really practicing this. Really working on it.
I think they're going to beat the Raiders.
Las Vegas Raiders. And then they're at the Buffalo Bills.
They'll lose that to finish 11-5.
What?
Yeah.
11-5?
That's what I got.
That is way off. First off, they're not going to sweep the Patriots.
If they don't,
at
then
New
they're
England,
10-6.
at New England.
If they don't, they're 10-6.
I think that win in Denver is off too.
Okay.
I don't like that. Okay, that is a non-believing. Okay, that's a passive-aggressive. Okay.
I'm not sold on the quarterback in Denver yet.
All right.
And I think I like this Tua kid. And I'm
He's a
definitely
winner.
I'm definitely not sold on the coaching in Denver.
Yeah, well, we know Fuentes did a good job last year for the Dolphins.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
Denver has
Coaching.
talent. Denver has a ton of talent.
Denver Dolphins.
Just don't like the coach.
Oh, yeah, Fangio. Gotcha.
Not
Coaching wins,
not
right?
as a head coach.
Yeah. All right, well.
I like Denver. I really do. I loved what they did in the draft.
Yeah.
But you saw what the Dolphins did at the end of last year with
Nothing.
With nothing. And you gave this guy that many picks?
Well, the Eagles did pretty well with nothing, too, but you don't give them any credit.
I don't really think they did. No, the Eagles are terrible. The Eagles. All right, let's do the Jets.
Okay, you want to do the Jets? I was just trying to gloss over the Bengals and see where we thought their schedule would be.
I mean, but right now, even let's just say I'm off an error of plus or minus 2 at each one of these so far.
Uh-huh.
Any one of these teams can win the division so far.
Yeah. Now, can the Jets? Are the Jets in
But
play?
remember, I did predict that the Dolphins would be the first team to win the AFC East, other than the Patriots.
Yeah. All right.
To break the streak.
It's at the Buffalo Bills, the Jets.
So we already gave them that loss.
Host the 49ers.
Oof, that's a loss.
At the Colts.
That's a loss.
Host the Denver Broncos.
Give them a win.
Host the Arizona Cardinals.
I'll give them a win.
That Broncos game is on a Thursday night, but I'm actually just pointing out more primetime than anything else. You give them a win against the Cardinals. Then they go to the LA Chargers.
Loss.
Who's going to be quarterback of the Chargers? It's all right. All right. Then they host the Bills.
I think I gave them that. No, the Bills swapped them.
Okay.
So they lose that.
At the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's a loss.
Host the Patriots. I think you had them beating them.
Who the Patriots beating them or just beating the Patriots?
I can't remember. That I don't know.
I'll give them the win. Just I can't remember either.
Yeah, it's still plus or minus. We're fine. Plus or minus 2 where you're at. At the Dolphins. This is the back-to-back. You had them winning both? No, they split?
Loss win. So they lose at the Dolphins and they win at home.
Okay.
Okay.
At Las Vegas Raiders.
I think they lose that.
I'm sorry, they host the Raiders. They host them. That was my first.
I still think they lose that. I think the Raiders are better than that.
At Seattle.
I think they lose that.
At the LA Rams.
I think they lose that.
Home against the Browns.
I think they win that.
At the Patriots.
And I think I had them losing that.
What you got?
I got 5 and 11.
Yeah. Things are not looking good for them. Not looking good for them.
They have a tougher.
They were 7 and 9 last year.
Well, they lost Robbie Anderson. They didn't do anything to really replace him in the draft. I don't think. I don't know. Some people were high on their draft. I wasn't. What they went with Mekhi Becton, right?
Yep.
We all know he's got a ton of talent, but he's got a little problem with the weed. Never made anybody a bad guy, but you know what? When it comes to being focused on the football field, who knows?
According to the Action Network, they have updated, and once the schedule release came out, knowing the order, each team's order and the opponents and where they was going to be, time and everything else, the updated over-under wins total lines have been updated almost 6 days ago.
All right, well, let's get to that AFC East. Let's see what we got.
Okay, you had the Buffalo Bills at
10 wins.
The over-under is at 9, so it's very good. The closer you can get to Vegas, the better. You are guessing the thing, right?
Yeah.
Who you want next?
Let's just go in alphabetical order. Let's do
Miami. You had them at 13 and 3.
I had them 11-5.
Okay, all right. Well, they're 6.5. They're at 6.5. So that's the one you might want to keep an eye on there, folks.
You might want to be. I might be off on that one.
New England Patriots at
9 and 7.
It is exactly 9. And finally, the New York Jets, 5 and 11. They have them at 7. I actually agree with you. I think 7's too high. I think that's just a matter of betting is very big in New York now and New Jersey, and I think those numbers are going to be inflated. So
all right.
We saw that the first time.
So Vegas is just not as high in Miami as Tira is.
No, but I think the New York Jets line is inflated because I think they can get. I think they know they can get away with it because we've seen that gambling is, well, gambling's legal in New Jersey, but New Yorkers are just coming over.
Right.
New Jersey beat Vegas for like the first time. Vegas lost for the first time ever, and so
they better not be traveling during the COVID.
They better not be.
All right, you got everybody pulled up right now.
I got everybody.
All right, what about those Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Jay?
You have them at
16 and 0.
Yeah, that's right. They have them at 10. That's pretty good.
10's pretty high.
Yeah.
I think Dallas is at 9.5, right?
Dallas is at 9.5. What do you have, Matt?
13 and 3.
13 and 3. Okay.
What about Minnesota? I think Minnesota was 9.5 as well.
They're 9. What'd you have them at?
13 and 3.
And then you had Green Bay going what?
11 and 5.
They're at 9 also.
Okay. Well, see, I think those two teams once again are vying for the championship.
And you had Chicago
What
Bears
about
at
Kansas City?
Kansas City you had at
13 and 3.
11.5. They're the highest. Them and the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, that doesn't shock me. Chicago Bears.
What'd you have, Matt?
6 and 10.
8. Number's 8 there.
Okay.
So not too shabby just by looking at that. We're gonna give Randazzo here a call.
Oh, he doesn't call us. We have to call him.
Well, I just
He's
texted.
kind of big time.
He can call, but I just like, hey, I'll give you a call. Like, you know.
I'll call you. Make it nice for you.
Yeah.
Did you get that whole thing iced just for me?
That's for you, and then the tea's over here brewing.
You got brewing. Oh, see, I love that. This stuff's a little too sweet. That stuff I got out of it.
Yeah. See, that's when
I was in a quagmire. I put $1 in there. I couldn't get it to come back out.
That's when.
What do you do?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's apparently this big can of tea is only $1, and the one that I wanted was $1.50, and it's like literally 12 less ounces. Isn't that weird?
I'm gonna mess this up somehow, Colin. I can't remember if I have to dial 1 or not.
What do you mean you're gonna mess it up?
I just feel like I am. It's gonna do something.
I think it's gonna be great. This is solid radio. I don't care what anyone says.
I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. Chlamydia is a soup. That's an underrated movie, by the way.
Oh man,
The Ladies' Man.
Yeah,
that's an underrated movie.
Did you watch Wheel last night?
No,
solid.
That wasn't.
Yeah, it was great.
I watched something else. I don't even know what I watched last night or what I've been watching. He's gonna
send us the voicemail.
I don't know.
He's gonna Metcalf us.
He's so busy. This is.
He doesn't like us anymore. Maybe he's just mad you didn't make him tea or something.
I don't know. He says his kid's got a Zoom at 1:30 or something like that.
We're calling him.
Your call has been forwarded.
I mean, seriously? We haven't talked to the guy in how long?
He's big time in us. Totally big time in us. Mr. Channel 8 himself.
All right, I'm just going to text him the number. Just say, hey, whenever you get time.
Yeah. Yeah, whenever you
He's
get...
going to be like, oh, I was on the phone with Chase and Randall. And I was on a Zoom with Randall.
Me and Caker hanging out.
I was on a Zoom with Wieskamp and Randall and Ethan Happ and Nicholas Bear and
he's listening right now. He's not going to call. He's going to be mad at me.
Yeah. So, guys, sorry about that. It was a real important Zoom. I had to.
Can we just start calling him Mr. 8?
Mr. 8? That is a good nickname, though. Yeah.
Mr. 8.
I don't know.
Let's do some more of these guesses. I love these guesses, Jay.
I like it. You're doing all right.
What other teams out there want us to guess their schedule? Any fans out there
that want us to? No, they probably.
Andy from the Natty, you want us to guess the Bungles?
I do want to do the Bengals, though.
All right. Yeah, they're interesting, right?
Yeah. Huh?
That's an interesting team to do.
Yeah, because I do want to see that. I'm going to pay attention to where you have that picks at for when Burrow and Tua meet up. So, yes, I do want to do Cincinnati.
All right, let's do it.
All right. They open the season against the Los Angeles Chargers.
At home?
Yes. At home.
At
3
home
in the
against
afternoon.
I'm going to give them the win.
Okay. Then it is the Thursday night game, the Battle of Ohio. Cleveland at Cleveland. Cincinnati and Cleveland.
I'll say they lose that game. Eventually, Cleveland has to start playing like the talent they have. Right?
I would think so.
You have too much talent on that team, even if you don't like the quarterback all that much.
Then they're at Philadelphia.
That's a loss.
Again, then they're home against Jacksonville.
I'll give them a win.
On the road at Baltimore.
Well, that's a loss.
Yeah. At Indianapolis.
I think I'm a loss there too.
This is not looking good for the big matchup.
Another team.
Then they host the Browns.
I'll give them that win. Maybe they learned something. They still have a little bit of talent there.
Then they host the Titans.
See, I got to give them a loss. That's a playoff team. AFC Championship losing playoff.
At the Steelers.
Ooh, we got to give them a loss. Big Ben's back. If Big Ben is back and healthy, the Steelers are a whole different team.
At Washington.
I'll give them that win. Sure not sold on Dwayne Haskins yet.
They host the Giants.
I'll give them a win.
All right. Put that on pause.
Okay.
I guess the Zoom call's over.
Okay. Thank you for calling Channel 8 Action News. How can I help you?
Action News?
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know what it's called.
You gotta miss your voice.
I miss yours more, buddy. I've been having a lot of fun. I've been having a lot of fun when the Channel 8 people come to film me do stuff, and I just tell them all kinds of funny stuff about you.
What kind of weird? Oh, I saw some of that stuff. Yeah, you're more popular than I am nowadays. I like that. It's much better.
I'm not even close. I'm not even close.
So popular.
Yeah.
He's still putting himself over. We're not even 15 seconds into the conversation. He's like, I'm as popular as I am. Good job.
Well, we sure as hell miss you, buddy. How you been, man?
I'm good. I have a car full of boys right now. We tried to go get lunch. The meat thing is a legit thing going on, isn't it? Like, it's hard to get hamburgers.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. You know what? Call ahead, and they'll have some nice. I'm telling you, the best burger in town right now is at Van's Pizza and More. 563-232-1396.
That's well done. That is very well done. We just went out. I'm on the Illinois side. Went down to Meatheads. I love Meatheads.
Oh yeah.
And the grill wasn't doing hamburgers. because they can't sell them for enough to make a profit. They said they think that the lady thought that the hamburger inside was up to $7.99 a pound for a hamburger.
Oh, no.
So I had to default McDonald's, so I'm running behind. So I got 4 kids eating McDonald's behind me. So if you hear anybody yell and scream, that's my excuse. But they're happy they got food. So
Did anybody get a Big Mac, or do they just go like straight cheeseburger, no onions, no pickles, or what do we got?
That bacon McDouble. They like the bacon and the McDouble. They're doing all right. They got expensive on me. I wish I could go single burger. Now I'm going to bacon McDouble, and they're going to eat me out of house and home here real soon. It's tough times, boy. Tough times.
I know the COVID-19 has been bringing hard times into the Randazzo home.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we're gonna get through it somehow, some way. So, how about you boys? I miss you.
Yeah, we're holding up well, and hopefully you and the wife and the family are as well. Jay and I are just trying to put together content every day. I'm sure you know what that feels like.
I tell you what, guys, that's so it was probably a week ago Monday, and I'll talk to you more about what we're doing. But about a week ago Monday, a real good photographer at our station, good buddy of mine, helps out a lot in the sports department. Scott Weiss said to me, he called me up and he goes, "Hey, you're looking for content, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Mike, basically what I said is I'm running out of names in my Rolodex. And you guys love how I drop names on here, but I'm tired. I've run out of people to call to see what they're doing or how they're handling the crisis." And I'm like, "Yeah, we need content." And he said, "I think we should rank the best high school football stadiums in our area and then count them down all the way to number 1 and have a different stadium every single night." I said, "I love that idea." So we started brainstorming on who people in the area would be that have actually been to, all the stadiums. So we couldn't do small schools. We might do it, but that's going to get much more difficult. So we basically focused on the Western Big Six and the MAC. I know the MAC isn't it's not the MAC for football, but you guys get what I mean when it comes to MAC schools. So we focused on, basically it's the 7 Western Big Six schools. We didn't count Quincy, but the 7 Western Big Six schools. Then it's Tubell Stadium, Spartan Stadium, Brady Street Stadium, Lancer Stadium, then Muscatine Stadium, and then Coan Field up in Clinton. So it's those 13 teams and our schools, and then we put together 16 people. There's 5 of us from the station: Dan Pearson, Tom Cornelis, Greg Armstrong, Don Umland is the referee around the area that did it. Steve Batterson, Steve Tappa, just about 16 different people that have been to all the stadiums. And that was the hard thing, is thinking of people that have actually, seen a game or had been to all the stadiums. But they got all their lists together, and starting last Thursday through yesterday, I went to every single stadium. We flew the drone. We had the coach meet us. When we did a story on that stadium, and then starting this Sunday, we're going to start debuting 13, 12, 11. So we have 13 days of content, which is a good thing for me. But it was kind of cool to get everybody's responses, and they were all over the board on who was the best, who was the worst. We had Brian Stocking voting one stadium number 1, and we had other people voting that same stadium number 13.
Yeah,
that's how all over the board it was. So, yes. Yeah, exactly. I had to say who it was just because you guys knew what I was talking about. But with you guys, you guys have been to a lot of them, I'm assuming. Which one would stand out for you guys? What would you say the best stadium in our area is?
Well, see, I'm biased. I'm going to say Sloan Wallace in Waterloo, Iowa, but that's not in the voting thing.
No, it's not. Not quite.
There's just so many different elements, and that's what the different people that you have on your panel will bring to it, because there'll be nostalgia. There'll be, is it state of the art? There'll be classic games that have played there, and there'll be the general atmosphere that it brings. So everyone has a different way of looking at things.
You nailed it, because I got so many responses that was like, "What's the criteria?" And I'm like, there's not any. When you pull up to a stadium, which stadium are you like, "Awesome, I get to go to the Soul Bowl today," or I get to go to Tubell Stadium or Lancer Stadium. So it was really cool, and it was all. And some of them, like you mentioned, probably the older. I don't want to call anybody old, but probably the older voters had some of the newer remodeled stadiums lower than the other people because they hadn't been Tom Cornell retired a while ago. So, like, he hasn't been down to Galesburg. And honestly, like, my photographer, Scott, gave me a hard time because I don't get to Muscatine, Clinton, Sterling, Galesburg very often on a Friday night. I mean, I had been there, but I went to Coan Field, which is up in Clinton, for the first time since David Johnson was playing football at Clinton. It was the last time I had been there.
Yeah.
So, and it's great. Like, it's remodeled. They got new stands. They got a new field, a new turf. So, I mean, there's some that you could tell need work and need to get there, and then there's some that are just like state-of-the-art, and there's some that do a really good job tying in history with newness. If you look like Geneseo, Bob Reed Field, they have all that history and the tradition, and then they also have the newness of new field turf and new stands, and so it's just they've done a really good job of like interweaving everything together to kind of make it that perfect storm. So it's a lot of fun, and it'll hopefully cause some trouble as well, and hopefully it'll cause everybody likes clicks nowadays and controversy and people debating back and forth. So hopefully it gives something to talk about for the Quad Cities for a couple weeks, and the coaches really enjoyed it. They really got into it. We asked every coach if they couldn't play a home game at their stadium and they had to schedule a home game someplace else, where would they schedule that game? Now, that's the same way of saying what's your favorite stadium besides your own, but I had to phrase it that way because I asked Rusty Van Letzing the very first thing we did. I said, hey, what's your other favorite stadium? And like the politician most coaches are, he literally rambled down every single stadium that he liked. And I'm like, that's not what I'm asking you. You don't have to give me a political answer. You got to name the best answer. And that's what he ended up, and then we finally kind of narrowed him down to it. So we interviewed all the, not all the, but a lot of the panelists as well. So we did interviews with Pearson and Cornelis and Batterson and Tappa and John Marks, and kind of got this, so they'll be in the stories as well, kind of giving their reasons why this stadium is great or not great. So it was a lot of fun. Well, you guys, I got to hold you to it, Jay. What's the best stadium? You can say Tubal. You can be a homer. It's okay.
All right, there's so many great stories at Soul Bowl and playing there and former athletes and the nostalgia and the rivalry between Rocky and Moline. I feel like Soul Bowl is going to be number one, but Tuvel is really, really close. And
when you're saying Soul Bowl, are you saying Rocky Stadium or are you saying Soul Bowl? Soul Bowl is United Township. Rocky Stadium is Rock Island.
Yeah, that changes a lot then. And I'm off. Yeah.
But you know what? Soul Bowl, and this isn't a bash at United Township, and their coach, Nick Welch, who's going to do a great job his second year into it, knows it. But a lot of people don't think United Township and Soul Bowl because they haven't been good for 10, 15 years.
Yeah, then my apologies to Rocky. My apologies to Rocky, though. It'd be Rocky Stadium. It'd be Rocky Stadium, then Tuvel. Here's a list in front of me that I just by jotting it down. Rocky Stadium, Tuvel, Lancer, Brady, then Moline in my top 5.
Lancer was high on my list. I think Lancer might have been my top Iowa school, and Tuvel was close. I didn't have Brady that high. Mm-hmm. And it's different. It's shared by 4 schools, so there's not that one dominant school there that does everything and gets everything there. But they were a little bit lower on mine. Browning's fine, and that's the thing is everybody's is good. Like, that's the one bad part we're going to have the first 3 or 4 days is because somebody had to be 13, somebody had to be 12 and 11, so there's some schools that aren't going to be happy about it. But Galesburg's renovated. They have, like, you know how Iowa State has that facility at the end of their stadium, at the end of their end zone? They have one of those nice complexes, a football complex, so they literally come out of that and stands and new signage and all that kind
you
of
can
stuff.
come out of anything you want, but coming down that field at Tuvel is menacing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I had Tuvel higher maybe than it ended up, I will say. I'm not saying what the final stuff was. I can't. I'm sworn to secrecy.
If you had Lancer higher than Tuvel, and then you say Tuvel didn't end up that high, I don't know. That's just out of spite and jealousy.
Dazzo? I
didn't say that high. I just said maybe as high as some people would think. You got to watch to find out.
I got to guess. I got to guess who Stocking had at number 1.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, go ahead. Is that who you think?
It was Brady Street Stadium.
Not at all.
No.
Nope. And right? And that's shocking. You would think that I don't have his memorized. I probably have it somewhere in my car with all the kids running around. I don't have his memorized, but I know that his number 1 stadium was Lindbergh Field for Owlman. It's Augustana Stadium. And it's gorgeous. He's right. I mean, it's really nice. But where you get with that is some people don't see that as a high school stadium. You know what I mean?
Right,
That's kind of the, so we had, I know, 1, maybe 2 people vote Lindbergh 13. I think it was 1. Voted them 13. So Lindbergh's the only stadium that had a number 1 first place vote and then a last place vote because of the fact that I think the person who said it, I had everybody put comments with it, and I think the person said, sorry, it's just not a high school stadium, and I'm ranking high school stadiums. So, and everybody's stuff is different. I mean, everybody's criterion is different, and thought process is different, and all that kind of stuff. But, yeah, going over to Tubal was fun. I met Coach Wiley there last Thursday, and just going down, I mean, you see the statues, the bulldog. We did drone shots, but just honestly, the coolest view there is being up in the weight room and looking down onto Tubal Stadium from the weight room and just seeing the outlay of the stadium and stuff. Pretty cool, guys. I mean, it really is. And you, like you mentioned, Back in Black. I let my 10-year-old vote because honestly, he's been to, I think he said he's been to 10 of the 13.
Yeah.
Not in the actual vote. He didn't count, but I let him do it onto the side. And he put Tubal Stadium, I think, number 1. I'm pretty sure he hadn't done, and it was for him. It's Back in Black and coming down the hill. That has him sold. Like that's cool to him. Like that's it. So that was one of his top ones. So
now,
yeah, it's just
does he? Hold on a second. Does your 10-year-old have a cell phone yet?
No.
He'd probably He'd probably answer my phone calls the first time I'd call. He sounds pretty cool.
He'd be ready to rock and roll. So that's for sure. But no, so yeah, it is. It's like, and like you guys said, it's like it's building up content and all that kind of stuff, and doing. And we never get a chance to do this kind of stuff. Like we really never get a chance to go ahead and like say, okay, this is what a special project that I want to do. Let's go ahead and do it. So this gives us a chance to. Heck, I mean, I was at 13 schools in the span of 4 days. I never get the opportunity to go do all that kind of stuff. So it was fun. Plus, it was nice to actually hang out and talk with people over the age of 10. That was a plus for me. That was a huge plus. So
no offense to you boys on the back eating your burgers. You're not saying anything bad about you.
No, not at all.
I know you're probably getting home soon, and you got to get set up for a classroom Zoom meeting. But I'm assuming so. But are you following The Last Dance?
Oh my gosh, it's the best 2 hours of my week.
Mm-hmm.
And what's cool? Okay, are you watching it by yourself? How old are your kids, Jay?
No, I'm watching with my wife.
10 and 8, and yes, I watch it by myself.
Do your kids have any interest in it at all?
No, the oldest daughter just said she was going to take a hard pass when I had said to sit down and watch this.
All right. What about the 8-year-old? So my question is, you're watching on ESPN, right?
Yeah.
I'm watching it on ESPN as well. I like that kind of. Well, my 10-year-old is obsessed with it, and I didn't realize that ESPN2 does an edited version. Did you know that?
Yes, I did. Yep.
Well, I didn't know that until like episode 5 or 6. So we're sitting in the living room, and my wife's in the other room, and she knows Charlie and I are sitting here watching it, and it's just like when he hits the shot on Elo, and he's like, "Go home!" I can't say it, but and my wife's like, "What in the world are you letting your kids watch?" And it's like, I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, this is the cool part for him is he doesn't know what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
Like we know he looked at me after episode 6. And they did the preview for this week, 7 and 8, and they talked about playing baseball. And he said, "Dad, Michael Jordan played baseball?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Was he any good?" And I said, "No." But like he had no idea. Like this is all obviously new stuff for him. He knew who Michael Jordan was. He knows he's one of the greatest of all time. In my opinion, the greatest of all time. He knows all that, but like to see it all and to see how he did stuff and to see his work ethic and all that kind of stuff. I absolutely love it. And he giggles every time there's an F-bomb. He does.
Yeah.
I probably
Dazzo, I'm watching it with my wife, who grew up in the Chicagoland area. She was born in '79, so she wasn't very young when all this is going on, and there's a lot of it that she doesn't remember. So I feel like I'm watching with a 10-year-old.
Yeah. No, people don't realize some of the stuff. So I was a big DJ Armstrong fan growing up. In fact,
oh yes,
I like the Bulls. I may have, I'm a Lions fan. I was born in '79 as well. So as maybe 87, 88, when I'm starting to get into basketball a lot, I kind of like the Pistons. I was up in Detroit to see relatives, kind of like with the Lions, and I liked the Bulls too because I could watch them. And then when BJ got drafted to the Bulls, I was all Bulls hardcore. I remember going up to family reunions during that time, and they tried to give me bad boy shirts and bad boy hats and all this kind of stuff. They really did. And I was and I'm wearing my Michael Jordan jerseys and my Michael Jordan shirts and all that kind of stuff. So I wasn't having any of it, but I was mad when they got rid of BJ.
Yeah, me
because
too.
They were coming here for an exhibition game, and the year after Jordan came back. So it was '96. In the beginning part of '96, they were coming back for that season. They were coming to Mark for the exhibition, and that's when they left BJ open to the expansion draft, and I was so mad. I mean, I still like the Bulls, and I still rooted for them the last 3 years, but so the long story short, that segment this week, I was so mad during the whole thing because you'd hear from BJ, but you would never see him make a shot. I joke with my buddies, they never show BJ making a shot. So they finally showed him making a shot, and it was in Charlotte gear. And then I finally remembered that. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even remember he played for Charlotte. And then I do remember game 2 when he made all those shots and played great, and then he got schooled by MJ. But yeah, that's that kind of things you don't remember all of it as you're going through it, and then you go back and you're like, oh, that's right, I remember this. So it's been, and the way they do it, guys, when it comes to TV producing and getting to give the other players the tablet and have them listen to another person give the story is genius. Absolute genius. When the Rodman story was going out and Jordan was telling about Rodman going to Vegas and getting glimpses of those other guys listening to it and laughing.
Phil's reaction and Dennis's reaction were two of my highlights. Phil was like, yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, you wasn't happy.
All the best parts of The Last Dance are when people are watching that kind of stuff. Like this week when Gary Payton was trying to explain how he was going to shut Michael down, and watching Michael listen to that and laugh his butt off. It's just such fantastic television that you don't get anywhere else, and that's the cool part about it. Also, the other cool part is the gambling stuff I love. I actually just ordered today my shirt that says I have a gambling problem, and there's an X to the gambling, and it says competition or competitiveness.
Yeah.
Over that. I just ordered that today. I love that. That's fantastic to me. So it's great. It's must watch. I've had people who haven't watched any of it that I've said, please do yourself a favor, take 10 hours. I would sit there, I'd watch 20 hours of it. It's brilliant.
I was just going to say, I know 3 people that have told me that they're going to just wait and watch it all at once, and I question the people I choose as friends.
Yeah, and this was Mother's Day, right? It's Mother's Day Sunday. And here we are, it's 7:30, and Charlie, my 10-year-old's like, Dad, 30 minutes till Last Dance. I got you. And here we are, trying to be nice to Mom and celebrate Mother's Day, and she just looked at me and she was like, just go downstairs. I get it. I'm just like, okay, cool. So it is. It's a program. And the SVP afterwards is very good. That edition of SportsCenter that he does afterwards is really good. Have you found yourself looking at old YouTube video of some of these games? Because I've gone back and gotten on YouTube and gone back to some of these games and watched some of these games just because I forgot how great it was, and it's been fun to watch that.
No, not that, but I did get the Halberstein book that a lot of it kind of does the similar things. But the other thing to do, I know SVP does a follow-up, but they're 2 quick episodes. I don't know if they come out that night or Monday morning. They're usually anywhere from 25 to 30 minutes. Jalen Jacoby have the director, Jason Hare, on, and it's amazing. It's the best 30 minutes.
wow.
It's the best hour I spend Monday morning listening to the director recap, and you get to hear Jalen Rose, who played in the series that's coming up in episode 9, where the Indiana Pacers, where Reggie Miller says that he's going to retire Michael Jordan. Jalen's in that. Jalen's actually talks about being suspended in Game 5, and then you have a fan in Jacoby who's asking all these other questions, and you get a lot of extra stories like why he decided to do different shots, how it all came about. So it gives a real good insight to what the director was thinking, and it's just download the podcast, go work out, however you're working out, and then just listen to it for an hour.
I'm going to
go back and listen to him.
Yeah, that's good stuff. It's appointment television. It's must see, and thank God it came about because it's been as you guys know, a weird time. So it's been cool to have that outlet of sports fans to be able to watch something that they wouldn't normally have.
Yeah. All right, buddy. I know you got to go. I appreciate your time, my friend. We'll look forward to. So when is that airing, on Sunday?
So we number 13 debuts Sunday, and it'll run every night on WQAD this Sunday through the following Friday, and we'll do the last one on Friday, a week from this Friday, and then we'll also do a Sunday show where we're going to do a special Sunday show where we'll talk about it and kind of break it down. So
all right.
Kind of fun. Hopefully everybody enjoys it.
Yeah, let's touch base next week sometime.
I love it. Sounds good, boys.
All right, see you, bud. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye. All right, it's Matt Randazzo, Channel 8. He's got doing 13 best football stadiums, and look forward to doing that. He's right. You got to find things to do, and I love it. I love it to hear when people start thinking outside the box and coming up with things to entertain us. Yeah,
All right.
We got to take a break. We're going to actually do another phone call after this. We're going to talk to Dave Morgan from Single Speed. They're setting up something with Coach Dan Gable. It's going to be called Happy Hour with Gable. It'll be next Wednesday, and it's really interesting how it all came about, and we're going to actually help out with it. So we're going to call him after we go to break.
Let me tell you about Bayside Beach Resort Quad Cities. They're in the village of East Davenport, and they're not your ordinary sandwich shop. You're not going to find deli meat on their menu. They only use fresh ingredients, and orders are made from scratch. They have paninis like the Bayside Po' Boy, and they have a roasted beet and green bean salad as well. All of their menu is a specializing thing of deliciousness. Boy, I didn't read that correctly at all, Jay. And don't forget about their smoothies and fresh juices that they make from their incredible dinner entrees as well. Don't take our word for it. Check out the Facebook page and read over 500 recommendations from guests. Stop by Bayside Bistro today, 1105 Christie Street in the East Village, Davenport.
This is WQAD's Matt Randazzo, and you're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local on ESPN 93.5.
We will get our momentum back. Our business is back, our smiles back, ourselves back. Because that's what this community does. At First Midwest Bank, we want to thank our colleagues for doing everything they can to help our clients and our communities get through this. Because we are all in this together. And together, we will get our momentum back. First Midwest Bank. Visit firstmidwest.com. Member FDIC.
Golick and Wingo.
In just my opinion, I don't think the post-football career for Gronk was all that he thought it was going to be. Now, what's going on in the world, I think, absolutely added to that without question. But I think there was a myriad of things that added up to this position. And probably, I'm sure the highest one would be Tom Brady actually going to a different team. I personally think it was a combination of things. One, his body got to heal a little bit, no doubt about that. You heard his kind of tear-filled talk pushing the CBD products out there and how much it beat him up, and he lost his love for the game. And then Tom gets traded. That can make the love come back a little bit because you don't have to go play under the regime of Bill Belichick and how tough that can be. You get a year off to rest your body a little bit, so you're naturally, physically, you're going to feel better.
Golick and Wingo, mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
In the Army National Guard, family means everything.
They really appreciate what she's done as a sister as well as a soldier and, supporting their country.
Our parents, they were really supportive that all 5 of us would join.
Family members that are soldiers in the Army National Guard inspire and influence, setting a path for others.
It's validating knowing that, I kind of did my part to make sure this is what they actually wanted and that they feel the same way I do. I'm really proud that we get to help shape the future, and I know that my sisters are going to be amazing soldiers.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard instills pride that you and your family will share in.
A lot of pride, and they're just out there doing something every day and then serving their country as well.
I got my education because of the Guard. I got to travel a little bit and experience a whole different culture.
Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Iowa Army National Guard. Aired by the Iowa Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is the Dan Levitar Show on ESPN Radio.
Guys, did you read any of the Ramona Shelbourne reporting on how the documentary got made? Because there were some interesting and funny details in that story. Did you see it?
No, Dan, I tried to. Now, listen, this is making an excuse because I don't like to read, but I tried to go into this thing with as little information as possible, okay?
That's your life. That's your life motto in general. Like, that's how you do everything. That's how you do the show. Put it on the poll, Guillermo. Should it say on Stugatz's tombstone, I tried to go into this thing with as little information as possible?
I found that adorable that you tried to position that as some sort of new thing that you were trying out this time around.
It's just it is the chromosome that you have that afflicts you with laziness. There is no vaccine for that.
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Have your car battery tested for free at Olderog Tire and Performance. Plus, take advantage of the 4-wheel alignment special. Buy 4 tires and get a 4-wheel alignment, regularly $79.95, now only $49.95. Olderog also does brakes, AC work, struts, and suspensions, tune-ups, and alignments. And right now, check out the AC Recharge Special for $89.95. Open Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 5. Olderog Tire and Performance, Rockingham Road, Davenport. Service local, limited time offer.
All right, everybody, we're back. Don't Hassle Us Local on AM 1170, brought to you by our friends at Dunright Satellite and Dish.
We're want to thank Matt Randazzo for calling us in. Now we're going to give my buddy Morgan up at Single Speed. He's up in Waterloo, Cedar Falls.
We're still in the middle of the Bengals, too, by the way.
Yes, we are still in the Bengals. We'll do that. He's not going to take long. He's a talker, but
he's not as long-winded as Dazzy.
No, he's a fun guy. Mushroom walks into a bar.
Hello, what's so funny?
Well, Jay was making jokes about you, Dave.
No,
I'm not
I
going to lie.
not.
I just said that he's a great guy and he's probably going to be really cool and make that beer that I want, named after my dad. But Jay said no, he's like a mushroom walking into a bar.
No, I said he's a fun guy. You know the joke, right? Where it's like mushroom walks into a bar and bartender says, "I'm sorry, I can't serve you," and the mushroom says, "Why not? I'm a fun guy." But now a mushroom walks into a bar, bartender says, "I can't serve you because of the coronavirus." And he's like, all right, and he walks away. So that's the other joke.
No. The joke, so not as funny.
No, it's not nearly as funny.
Yeah, I like the first one a lot better.
That's not funny.
Morgan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm great. Hey, do you guys know what the difference is between here and there?
No.
The letter T.
Yeah. Yeah, we could do this all day. Good job.
My 7-year-old's been into jokes. She loves to read, and she read me that one. I thought it was pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I'm glad that she's into jokes. It's always a good laugh, and there's nothing a nice joke that you don't have to curse in. That's good.
Right.
But I talked with you last week, and Single Speed's going to be doing something online next Wednesday with Coach Dan Gable. Do you want to kind of tell the listeners what's going to happen?
Yeah, a week from today. So, we're going to go live today. And then so we've been doing virtual happy hours at 5 o'clock on Wednesdays. Me and our head brewer, Austin Myers, we claim we're doing it to stay relevant and to keep our brand active. We're really just doing it so we can drink beer together.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to do one again today with the guys from Pulpit Rock because we're dropping a beer with them called Board Shorts and Flip Flops, which I'm assuming is what you guys are wearing. I can't see you right now, but I'm guessing.
Yeah, you pretty much nailed it.
Pretty much. Bingo.
Good. So, but next week it's going to get. So we've been doing it pretty low rent, Instagram Live. Shoving an iPhone in front of us, hoping the audio comes through, and just kind of having fun, connecting with people and drinking beers. But we came up with the idea of while we're having fun and doing this stuff of doing a legit one with Coach Gable. And we reached out to Dan and said, "Hey, Dan, what do you think about drinking a beer at 5 o'clock on the 20th of May? And we could have some sort of recording device in front of you, and we can conduct a wrestling-based interview and have a can of beer, or a pint of beer, I don't know, however you want to pour it out of your can, and just engage the people, see who wants to have a beer with Dan Gable on 520." And he was stoked. Dan likes engaging with people. He loves talking wrestling, of course. He loves drinking a Munich Helles every once in a while. So we combined all those things, and we're going to go live and Facebook Live. Probably kick it over to YouTube and let people just kind of virtually have a beer with Dan. It should be a pretty cool time.
Yeah, and it was as we were talking about the idea, or whatever else, and you reached out to me and said like, hey, can you mention it to anybody? And I said, sure, I'll get it out there to the people I know. And I said like, hey, how are you doing the audio? And we just kind of started kicking around ideas. And I said, well, any way I could help. And T-Roy being from the area, he always likes to go back up and visit friends. And Maureen, you and I were talking about the audio and the visual part of it. And then, I was sticking my nose where it doesn't belong, and you were nice enough to say like, hey, why don't you come on board and help us out with this? And a lot of times I'd much rather be on the opposite side of the camera, running things and doing ideas, and T-Roy's really good at it too, and you've got good ideas, and I think we can make a nice production of this. I mean, it's Coach Gable, right?
Yeah, it should be pretty. It sounds like we got a pretty good plan. It should be, definitely more polished than the fun beer drinking we've been doing on Wednesdays now, and we're going to bring a little bit more of a production and make sure. I mean, when Dan talks, anything that comes out of his mouth is probably a little bit more important than anything me and Austin are talking about on our Beer Wednesday. So we want to make sure people can hear it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, we're excited to have you helping with that project. It's always fun to work with you anyway. So we're excited to have you helping with that project. And, it should be a nice, well-produced piece. Kyle Klingman of Track Wrestling, formerly of the Dan Gable Wrestling Museum, is going to be there moderating the interview, if you will. He's going to be allowing questions to come through on the chat, but we're also requesting people throw questions at us via email right now, and Kyle will work right into his interview. So Kyle, might ask a question submitted by whoever it is, Jeff from Bettendorf, right?
Yeah.
Whoever it is. Dan Knight. You still got Dan Knight out there? Is he still coaching out?
Oh yeah, he still is. Do you happen to have that email off the top of your head?
Rachel, Rachel,
mm-hmm.
at singlespeedbrewing.com.
Okay, good. And then
media
at singlespeedbrewing.com.
He'll filter those with Kyle.
Okay,
yeah.
And then your virtual happy hour tonight, that's on Instagram?
Instagram Live.
Instagram Live. Why don't we have our thing hooked up to Instagram Live?
And if you follow,
I think Instagram and Facebook Live are the same thing.
Okay.
See it go.
Yeah, so pull that up, and that's just it. That's just Single Speed. What's the handle there for the Instagram Live?
I think that one's just Single Speed Brewing. So it's our brewery page. We operate some tap room pages, but it's our brewery page. So I'll find it. I think it's just Single Speed Brewing. You'll see it's got a blue logo on it.
Dave, how's it been going for viewers? I mean, normally, how many views are you getting in a week, roughly?
When they watch it, so we don't really save them. We kind of just let them go live, and whoever's on there talking to us, and then it evaporates. We see it float anywhere between 20, 25 people watching at a time, up to like 60 at a time. We go for a full hour, so you see a lot of people come watch for a little bit, and then they got to go on with their day. I mean, even for me to argue that we're worth watching for a full hour without a break, I might be fibbing a little bit. Everybody's got stuff they can do.
You definitely will be next week. There's no doubt about that. with Coach, I'll tell you what.
Next week's a different story.
Yeah. He's going to bring. I mean, the times that we've had him around or just here in studio. I mean, the stories are great.
When we were doing the Zoom with Coach Gable was on there, and he asked about. He's like, is it about an hour? And everyone's general consensus was on Morgan's end of it was just kind of like, yeah, we go about an hour. And then it was kind of like, if you want to keep going. Kyle's like, keep going. And finally I said, Coach, I've had you in the studio. I've been around you. I'm I'm confident you're going to go more than an hour. People are going to ask you questions and he'll go into another story. And he's a great talker. And who's going to tell him to shut up, Not me.
Right.
But he'll be at a location. We don't know where. You guys will be. I don't know exactly where we're going to be yet. I know we talked about trying to do the museum from there, but we're worried about the Wi-Fi. But we're going to figure out all that stuff later. But that's going to be next Wednesday. Right. Most importantly, people can watch tonight if they want to. And you're doing that with Pulpit Brewing, you said tonight.
Yeah, Pulpit Rock up in Decorah. We did a small batch beer with them called Board Shorts and Flip Flops, pineapple, mango, vanilla bead, a little bit tart. that drops today. So we're running some beer up to them today so that we can virtually have a pint with them at 5. They're super fun guys. They're fun guys. Jeez.
Yeah, there you go.
Super fun to talk to, and they'll be on camera for a little bit and talking to Austin, and then I'll jump in and we'll talk about whatever else we got going on.
And so you guys did a collaboration with them. Now, just recently, we talked about it a little bit before the air. Governor Reynolds came out. What restrictions are you seeing for the brewery and single speed in Cedar Falls? Is there any differences? What are you guys? Yeah, what can you guys do?
So we're in Black Hawk County, so we've been shut down up until now. But that'll expire this Friday. So we'll be able to go under basically the restaurant stipulations, the restaurant regulations and guidance that they've been providing. We'll fall underneath that because we make beer on location, but the way that they look at it is we're a restaurant at this point in time. So we'll be at that 50% occupancy, 6 feet social distancing kind of thing. When we decide to pop the doors back open, and we can do both locations if we want. Our Cedar Falls one's pretty small. We'll have to get creative in there to see how you could possibly social distance in that thing. It won't be a whole lot of people getting in there, but Waterwood, we've got a pretty good plan that we can put into place. We've got to finalize some details on it, and obviously prioritizing staff and customer safety. We want to make sure we have all of our I's dotted and T's crossed, but I think we'll be able to go with some sort of limited capacity late next week, perhaps. We'll feel good.
Yeah. I know you said the single speed and the one in Cedar Falls is a little bit smaller, but I don't want to feel like I'm picking too much on salons. But I know a lot of salons that are smaller; they'll be open just fine. But
right,
you got to follow the rules, I guess, for now and see what happens. But I'm glad you guys are putting stuff together and coming up with things to do, and I'm really happy to do this Gable thing. I think it's a great idea, and we're going to really push it here in eastern Iowa, western Illinois for you to get people out there and to go out, and we're going to suggest that everybody go out there and grab a single-speed beer to have during the happy hour, and they can even leave comments on there saying like what beer they're having, and maybe Coach will give them a shout-out. Who knows, or Kyle will recognize them out there. That's kind of what the comment section's for. So, but yeah, we're going to suggest that everyone go out to wherever they purchase beer and grab single speed and whatever your favorite is. The new Gable can should be out though, right?
Yeah, you should see red, white, and blue.
Mm-hmm.
You should see red, white, and blue. You should be able to have a red, white, and blue can in your hand. We rebranded it for the Olympics.
I'm trying to reach for my Gable can right now that's in the studio, but yeah, usually it was the black and gold, but you guys rebranded it for the Olympics, which will be in 2021. So you get that for a full year. You don't have to rebrand your Gable can.
Better order some more cans.
You better. Well, after Wednesday, you're going to have to. All right, buddy. Well, I appreciate your time, and I'm going to reach out to you soon. I'll text you off the air, and we'll set up a time just to talk again so I can write something up for ESPN 1170 AM and then pass along some information to our friend Steve Batterson at the Quad City Times.
Yeah, I love it. I appreciate it, Jay. Thanks for having me on, bud.
Yeah, you take care.
Thanks, Morgan.
Take care, Morgan. See ya. All right, that's our friend Dave Morgan with Single Speed Brewery. He said at 5 o'clock tonight on their Single Speed Brewery Instagram Live, they go live and do a little virtual happy hour, but next week they'll have it with Coach Gable. We're going to help them out there, and we're really happy to do that. And if you have any questions for Coach Gable, you can email Rachel, RACHEL, at singlespeed.com. Kyle will put those together. And the reason why we ask for questions ahead of time is we're going to tinker with our images that we might have. Like if you're talking about the 72 Olympics, maybe up in the corner, and if you're on our Facebook, if you go to our Don't Hassle Us for Local Facebook page, our Facebook Live, you can see that we do images on here. We can also take live video and put that up there as well. We do have to take a quick break real quick and then come back and do the Bengals and take a look at some more over and unders. First, let me tell you about Tri-City Equipment, locally operated and owned in the Quad City since 1934.
Good people.
Great people. Really, really good people. I can't say enough about them. I'm sure there's someone in your house that's either building the bar in their man cave, or
she shack,
or putting things together, cooking a little bit more, saying I need this equipment, I need that. You don't know where to find. Well, go ahead and call Tri-City Equipment at 563-322-5382. Or go to tricityequipment.com, or you can even stop down and check out their showroom. It's newly remodeled, has 2,400 square feet in it, and there's over 1,600 items in stock. That's at 527 West 4th Street in Davenport. Keep this in mind. They do deliver, all right? Tri-City does deliver to Quad City residents, and they will match any online price. Don't go to those big stores, those .coms that you know I'm talking about. Go to TricityEquipment.com and check out. They will match any price you see. All right. Any restaurant equipment or kitchen sales that you get are guaranteed, including 30 days labor and 90-day parts. And you can even go as low as just things from like glassware, china. Just check it out. If you're looking to maybe eventually host a party, and you say like, and keep that in mind for catering graduation parties. But like I always say, like, you're putting things together and like, oh my goodness, we only have this many champagne flutes. And instead of going to a big box store and having to buy 12 at a time, you can order the ones that you want. Go ahead and give them a call, 563-322-5382. Locally owned since 1934. That's Tri-City Equipment. We'll be right back. Just a quick break. Don't hassle us. We're local.
Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah.
This is Matt Koss of the Quad City Times, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
Car old? Need it sold? Get rid of that old car and do a good deed at the same time. It's the Arrowhead Ranch Annual Auto Auction coming soon to Coal Valley. That's right, it's back. Donate your car, truck, SUV, or motorcycle, and if you live within 40 miles of Coal Valley, they will even pick it up, even if it doesn't run. All donations are tax deductible. Call 309-799-7044 or visit them online at arrowheadyouth.org. Car old? Need it sold? Arrowhead Ranch Annual Auto Auction. Stay tuned for an auction date in Coal Valley.
So you're what they call an industrial athlete, but this ain't no gym. You're working hard. You got the right tools to get the job done? Would you play football and roller skates? I don't think so. So if your gear is beat up, tore up, all around mucked up, come on in and boot up at Quad City Safety, 5311 Tremont Avenue, Davenport. Or check us out at quadcitysafety.com.
Golick and Wingo.
In just my opinion, I don't think the post-football career for Gronk was all that he thought it was going to be. Now, what's going on in the world, I think, absolutely added to that, without question. But I think there was a myriad of things that added up to this position. And probably, I'm sure, the highest one will be Tom Brady actually going to a different team. I personally think it was a combination of things. One, his body got to heal a little bit, no doubt about that. You heard his kind of tear-filled talk pushing the CBD products out there and how much it beat him up, and he lost his love for the game. And then Tom gets traded. That can make the love come back a little bit because you don't have to go play under the regime of Bill Belichick and how tough that can be. You get a year off to rest your body a little bit, so you're naturally, physically, you're going to feel better.
Golick and Wingo, mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
We will get our momentum back. Our businesses back, our smiles back, ourselves back. Because that's what this community does. At First Midwest Bank, we want to thank our colleagues for doing everything they can to help our clients and our communities get through this. Because we are all in this together. And together, we will get our momentum back. First Midwest Bank. Visit firstmidwest.com. Member FDIC.
From the Sheedy Family Chiropractic Studios, this is the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM, KBOB, Davenport. When you're listening to the best sports talk in the Quad Cities, you know you're listening to the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
All right, everybody, we're back in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by Done Right Satellite and Dish, and you know it. This is Don't Hassle Us Local on AM 1170.
In the first hour, we're doing more of looking at the NFL schedule, kind of bouncing around. It started off with let's do the local teams to some of our favorite teams yesterday to let's add in the AFC East, and then I said I wanted to take a look at the Bengals because I was just interested to see where T-Roy might think the Bengals are at when they go
We're through week 11 right
Yes,
now.
when they go to the Miami Dolphins. That would be the Burrow versus Tua matchup, and the Dolphins you probably would have had a pretty good spot at that point. I know you didn't do it by a week or whatever else. But they had to be pretty good because now you have because
the Bengals are 1 game below 500. right now.
Yes, and that is going into the Dolphins right now. So 5-6 for the Bengals is better than they have been in the past.
Right, and obviously I had them losing to the Dolphins.
Yeah. Yep. I'm losing to the Dolphins.
So that makes them 5-7.
5-7. Yep.
All right, and then who do they have after that?
Then they have the Dallas Cowboys at home. Dallas going into Who Day.
Who they going to get their butt with? Dallas ain't playing.
Then they host the Steelers. Divisional game. That will be Monday night game.
I'm sorry they lose that game too, I think.
Then they travel to Houston. They lose that game.
I think you're right.
This is the time of the year you don't want to play the AFC South because everyone like the
they're
last
always
three,
fighting
and they're always winning for some reason
and
until
the thing
one lays
is
an egg.
like we think that they're crap right now because they lost all these people, but Deshaun Watson is going to fight for whatever.
But it's the AFC South is the weirdest thing. The last 3 to 4 weeks of the season, if you are not by now, let's say, all right, so somewhere before the 12, the Thursday night game, which would be on that will be the 10th of December. That week or the week after, if you're not looking at the AFC South and figuring out who's going to lay the egg or who's going to win, because it's a real hard guess. We've now done this for 3 years. It's not easy to do it all to figure out the AFC South.
Yeah, the Titans to me are the front.
And no
runner.
one saw that coming last year.
Yeah, I still say they're the front runner. I like their coaching. I like what I saw the last 10 games of the year out of that team, especially out of Tannehill. So we'll see.
So they get a loss at Houston.
Yep.
And then they end the season at home against Baltimore.
Oh, that's a loss.
Yeah. But it's better than what they have been.
5-11.
Yeah, 5-11 is not bad.
Here's the deal. I mean, he's gonna. There's a lot of question marks with the Bengals right now, as in how healthy the receiving core is going to be. Does A.J. Green come back? Is he the A.J. Green of old?
Mm-hmm.
All right. They could sneak up and bite some people. Does this kid come out and is he all world? Is he the stud that we saw in college? Can he lift this team to another 2 or 3 wins by himself? And listen, if they go 8-8, Jay, that's an incredible win for them, to me. To go 500 after where they were last year, insanely good. If this kid can get him to that, I think this kid's special, beyond belief. Right, Erickson?
Burrow?
Yeah, I mean, just what he did that year in college. I mean, he has the single greatest college season of all time. We've seen nothing like it.
I
know that doesn't translate in the NFL, but we're always talking about SEC, right? We're always saying, SEC talent. And when you look at what gets drafted every year, a lot of SEC talent gets drafted. He did that against SEC talent. So,
my immediate response was, because I tried to pull up the Bengals depth chart on ESPN.com. It's not up, but that makes sense. My immediate response was like, does he need to start right away? And I wanted to be like, look, Lamar Jackson didn't start right away. Look, Deshaun Watson didn't start right away. Patrick Mahomes didn't start right away. And then I start putting in my head how many snaps he has at his age. Because he's older than Lamar Jackson. Yes, he needs to start right away. He's got the snaps. He's got the repetition. The NFL is a faster game. He probably will not have, where am I at? Schedule. The problems of going into, I don't know, at Cleveland week 2, the dog pound.
It's not going to bother him.
There's a difference, though, when you don't have the crowd. Or the fans in Philly, week 3. It's another stadium. I don't know how much Baltimore their fans bring to it. The dome's not going to bother them in Indianapolis. I'm just saying, like, at Pittsburgh, if they don't have that people in there by November, those are stadiums. Those are big fan bases. Week 2, he does not have to go in the dog pound. I know it's not going to bother him, but that is a Thursday night game as well. Prime time. He's in a good spot, to be honest with you. Like I said, my immediate reaction was like, he needs time. And now I'm like, no way. It's some people might benefit from this, the fact that there aren't fans in the stands. I mean, heck, Chargers are used to it. So they'll be fine.
Every game's a home game for the Chargers.
A home game for the Chargers. We might need to look at their schedule tomorrow.
Oh, man.
We might need to look at the AFC West and NFC West tomorrow and go through that because, every game's a home game for the Chargers. They're used to it. So, no.
That's great.
Yeah. If I'm thinking about what to watch next, this is what I'm going to end with today. I'm thinking about
You need to watch Billions because you know your boy Seth Rollins' lady was on it.
I always flirt with The Wire, and I don't get into it. I've tried Sopranos. It goes a little slow.
Another one you could watch, only one season out so far, City on a Hill from Showtime.
Uh-huh.
It's got your boy. Everybody's got 5 Degrees of Kevin Bacon in it.
Okay.
That's good. That's good.
I'm not a big Kevin Bacon guy, to be honest with
What?
you. Yeah.
You got to cut loose, Jay.
Yeah, I know.
How are you not a big Kevin
in
Bacon?
between me driving back and forth to get
His
the computer.
last name's Bacon.
I know. It's not that I don't like. I don't not like Kevin Bacon. It's just he's not high on my list. It doesn't move the needle for me. So
Boys are going down, Danny.
I was thinking about it, and so I was driving, and I'm like, all right, I watched this crazy show on Netflix. It's by a guy that I usually like his shows, Ryan Murphy. It's called Hollywood. I talked a little bit about Surge. I continued to go through the 7 episodes. I watched it, and I got done, and I'm like, what the hell did I just watch? Like, did someone just try to rewrite cinematic history of how Hollywood works? That's... it was just too weird. You took this Hollywood show took too much of a historical facts and Hollywood the way it was, and then rewrote it. And I was like, that doesn't work. It just didn't work. Ryan Murphy's a lot better than this. He does a lot of things that I like, but it just didn't work. So I'm like, all right. So I'm thinking about it, like to the point where I'm like, is there like a podcast that someone can explain what I just listened to? And I was like, I need to have a show. And I always want to go back to The Wire. I don't know why I can't do it. And honestly, T-Roy, I was like, I think it's going to be Billions, so we have just one more thing to talk about. Not that we need anything to talk about, but I was like, it's more, to me, it's Showtime, it's fast, I can catch up to it, and it's still going on.
Remember, did you ever watch the, Sons of Anarchy?
Nope.
All right.
Never
But
watched
you remember that chick that was his girlfriend in that, right? She plays the wife in this one. And she dresses up like a dominatrix. So if you're into that.
Yeah, I'm into that. Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's a good show. It's a well-written show. There's some dark comedy to it as well. And that's the thing about it. It has that. If you were ever a big fan of Rescue Me with Dennis Leary, I loved that show. It had a lot of dark comedy to it.
Yeah, so I think I was like, I can hammer through Billions to get there. So
it won't take much.
I'm
excited about a road trip.
Yeah. Before we go, want to remind everybody that our friends at Hidden Hills are open, and they've got a golf tournament coming up on May 25th, Memorial Day. It's not a shotgun start because they are still trying to work through their stuff, through social distancing. But you can go ahead and call for a tee time. And I just had my stuff up here. You can call for a tee time. Call Mike out there at Hidden Hills. He'll set you up the times are between 7 and 12. It is a four-man best ball. The prices are different because if you're getting a cart or not, they will have food afterwards. They'll practice all the social distancing thing that are going on, meaning the raised tees and all the other stuff. But instead of just a shotgun start where it's just a massive bunch of people and they just spread out, they're going to set up tee times. You can call ahead and set up your tee time. They're not going to force you to set up and then go. And you set it up and take your foursome out there. Memorial Day, one-day tournament, something to look forward to. I know everyone's getting a little antsy, and so I think it's a nice thing for them to do. My apologies that I don't have their phone number. There you go, Jaybird. That's what happens when you make a mess in here. Go ahead and go to hiddenhills.golf-com to check that out, and then you can call it 563-332-5616 to set up a tee time. They're open for golf right now. It's a beautiful day out. Check it out. And, Mike's been on the show before. Ask for Big Mike. It's Hidden Hills at 4335 Indiana Avenue, just north of the TBK complex. Enjoy your time, Quad Cities. Enjoy your day. Stay safe and sanitized. Can't wait till we can one day. I don't know. We can't even hug you all anymore. Who knows?
I'm gonna hug you right when we get done with this.
All right. Take care, Quad Cities.
Bye.